Hello and welcome together. The whole world is watching us live from the Loxone headquarters over here at the Loxone campus. You can see it in the back from Kollerschlag, Upper Austria. With me is our lead of the applications lead. That's the title, Lukas Eigelsberger. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Because today marks the day. It's the beginning of a new era of the whole Loxone config. We're starting with the Loxone config 16, and that's what you can expect from it. So why is it a new era of the Loxone config? Because you have seen it in that moment. It's a totally new look and feel, a whole new look and feel. And the reason for that is that in the last years, we always delivered much content updates of the config. So what is within the config, the function blocks, the features, everything like that. But now we tried, and we're successful with that, to redo the whole interface, the whole look. Lukas, what was the reason behind?
So one reason was because Loxone config got old. It got a little bit outdated. It looked kind of old. And the second reason why we changed something here is we know that our partners are working on small laptop screens, running through the building, learning in tree devices and air devices. And so we try to save up space so that you have as much space as possible to program your logic.
Yeah, that's a thing we also recognize when we are with the marketing team on the way on the construction sites, doing the spotlight videos, the reference videos with the partners. They're always there with a small laptop, with a small device, with a small screen. And all the input we gave into the config the last years need a little bit space. And that's the reason why we have a new design in here. So let's jump right in, Lukas. What can we see here? It's nearly the same, but totally different in another way. So what was redone?
Yeah, it now looks much more modern and more sleek. We changed up the whole drawing of the controls. It looks much modern now. Also, the property window is new, so the settings are now in a new and modern manner. And what's also new is the new tree filter.
Yeah.
So this also expands the functionality of the tree filter. It doesn't only look better, it also has more power. For example, I can filter combine filters here, so I can filter for devices in a room, for example.
Yeah, and the settings save a lot of space. We can do the before and after effect right now. If you just click on the toggle wheel over here, we see, okay, it's there. But we can also bind it on the left side, and then if we do that and we fix it, everything is jumping a little bit more to the right, and we have less space on the programming page, on the configuration page. And so this is a big thing that we now can just hide it, and they are hidden by default. So if you can't find it anymore, you can just see it on the left side if you click there, or on the wheel right over the function blocks.
That's true. This saves a lot of space. So by default it's hidden, but if you want it differently, you can still pin it. Also, the monitors down below are only here when you actually need them. So only when you activate the monitor they will show. So most of the time you won't need them, so they are not shown by default, and we save additional space.
Yeah. Also, the ribbon menu in the header of the Loxone config is new. How many icons have been redone?
Around 800 icons.
Okay, so 800 icons. Totally new. Shout outs to Kiska, a new member of the Loxone group within the last months. They have worked together on this new config look and feel and did a lot of work in the design area over here. And yeah, shout outs to Kiska on that place. But another thing, or there are a lot of more things they are new with, just like the functions. Let's check out the first one, the Getting Started wizard. What's behind that?
So when you get new into Loxone, you can get quite overwhelmed. So there's a lot of functionality, a lot of things to do. So we tried to create a wizard which guides you through your first steps in Loxone config.
Yeah.
So when you first start up Loxone config, the first thing you will see is the Getting Started wizard. You can also start it manually afterwards from the help menu up above here.
Yeah.
So here you can start it also manually afterwards. But it's for the new partners who maybe get the new demo case or a mini server, and it guides you through setting up, for example, your demo case. It shows you small and short videos on how to connect power, how to set up the network, and then it guides you through connecting to the mini server.
Okay, and as soon as you've the connection to the mini server and you opened up the config, you will also see a very short video, just about a minute or a minute 30 in that case, where you see how to put in the function blocks, where you can find the function blocks, how you learn in devices, how you connect the devices to the function blocks. So all in all, I would say it takes just less than 5 minutes to get through the Getting Started wizard and start the Loxone config and work with it if you do it the very first time. And then if you have the blank page before you, if you start the Loxone config, you can just use the auto configuration, for example, if you want to play a little bit with it. If you have a demo case, you will also get a demo file with it so that you can work directly with the components in the demo case. So you're really set up within minutes to start your first Loxone project with that. The next thing beside the Getting Started wizard is the automatic loading of the mini server configuration. So this was a thing in the past which led to some errors. What was happening here?
Yeah, when several people work on a project, it can happen quite easily that one colleague saves a new change into the mini server and another colleague is working with an old locally saved project and then reverts the changes of the colleague. And that's why we changed the behavior now. So when you connect to a mini server, the project is automatically loaded from the mini server and live view started, so you can directly start off with working on your project. Important to notice that we only load from the mini server when the program on the mini server is actually newer.
Okay, and that's the reason why you don't see a pop-up menu anymore. So don't be confused if you don't see that pop-up menu with the information, do you want to load from the mini server? Yes, no. It's also a few clicks less in here. It will be loaded automatically. I know that's a little bit working different in the future for some partners. We are aware of that, but it's an improvement. So if you take the chance to use that and get a feel of it, you will see, okay, this really helps you a lot with ongoing projects. It's the same at the Loxone campus. There are several people working on the campus configuration, and this makes it much easier to work with the most up-to-date config which was saved into the mini server. The next thing is a feature. Also, we are talking about features for free. You don't have to pay for that. The whole Loxone config, the whole software is free for downloading, for using, and we are always improving it for free for you. So the next thing is the logger function. What's new about this one?
So you may already know sending emails from statistics. So you can get sent an email weekly, daily, or per month from the last statistics. And the same now can also be done with the logger. So when you take a look into Loxone config, the logger has gotten a new setting, which will send me an email of the last day, which was written into the log. Could be used, for example, Wallbox, charging sessions, getting a log just for documentation or whatever you need.
Yeah, Wallbox is a good point here, because the energy management of Loxone config is also got an improvement update and new features. Thinking back to Loxone config 13, it was like the start of a whole new world of energy management with Loxone. And what happened in the last, let's say, 2.5 years on the electricity market, on the energy management itself all over the world, was much more, in my eyes, what has happened 20 years before. And that's always a challenge for us, to be right on track to deliver the newest functions and features and to update them every every new update, as soon as Lucas has finished the function block, it's never done. It's never ending. This block, you're just working on it and improve it furthermore. So the spot price optimizer also got a new function.
Yeah, it got a new parameter called minimum runtime. So it can be used, for example, in Great Britain, we have half an hour intervals of the spot price. Yeah. So it could happen that the heat pump turns on for half an hour and then turns off again. It's not very good for a heat pump, so that's why we added this minimum runtime parameter. So if I set this, for example, to 2 hours, the spot price optimizer searches for the cheapest 2 hours in consecutive 2 hours and then turns the device on in this time.
Yeah, and this is also a proof for the strength of the Loxone software, of the Loxone config, because you're always future-proof. So it doesn't matter what happens on the spot price market, in the whole world of energy management, we are able to deliver with just a totally free software update the needs of people using energy management. The next thing regarding to that is the Fronius integration, Lucas.
Yeah, Fronius devices like an inverter, for example, were always difficult to integrate. So you had to use Modbus, read data sheets with Modbus registers and enter them. And now they can really be easily integrated. Just search for the devices, add them, and you can control them.
Yeah. Easy as like a Loxone device itself. You can also find an English version of the explained video about the Fronius integration. It was also part of the beta version of the Loxone config before. So if you're on our YouTube channel, just search for Loxone Fronius, and then you will see a whole English explained video about that. The next thing regarding to energy and regarding to the summer. Okay, the summer in Kollerschlag is at the moment not that hot, but it will get hot, and we don't know each day what will the weather be. It could be cloudy. It was very gray in the morning, but I will promise in the afternoon we will have some sun and 26 degrees Celsius. So the AC control air is a very strong product to control AC units, air conditioning units, and this also got a new feature.
Yeah, we learned with ACs that often some ACs measure the temperature not really correctly. So in the start we said, hey, the AC control gets the target temperature and then will regulate the room temperature accordingly. But we learned sometimes the temperature is measured at the ceiling or in a different room even, and that's why we now use the temperature the Miniserver already has, so the room temperature from a touch, for example, or a room sensor, and send it to the AC or adapt accordingly the target temperature to better regulate the room temperature.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if we're in the central of Europe or in the rest of the world, Italy, Spain, Portugal, if we're in the Middle East, where we have a lot of Loxone projects all over the world, Mauritius. This is a tool, the AC Control Air itself is a tool working with a lot of different brands, the major brands of AC units, which really brings the energy management to a new level, and not even more comfort you will get by using it and automate the AC unit. You will also save a lot of money with it, that you just have the right temperature at the right time and not the AC running like in the 80s all over the whole day and the whole week.
Or maybe overheating the room, but now with the feature now, it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. And you can use your AC, let's say if you have it in conjunction with the PV system, you can use the PV surplus to let the AC run if you want that energy instead of bringing it into the grid. When we step from the config aside to Loxone Exosphere, as you could expect from us, Loxone Exosphere also got an update every time, or at least, every time we talked in the last years about 1.5 years about config updates, there was also Exosphere updates. So shout outs to Markus Dulgier from Trigo and his team behind Exosphere. What is new in there?
Yeah, in the last versions we added the feature called databases, so you could, for example, send wallbox sessions to Exosphere for billing, so you had a table with the loading sessions. But starting from there, you may want to forward this data to a third-party system, for example, for your own billing system of your company. And we already had the feature to send something via email, but now new is that we can send it via a webhook. So you may have an application running somewhere and can get the data sent daily, monthly, weekly to this application, and then do whatever you want with it. So you can simply configure it, set the URL, maybe a header, and which data should be sent, and then the data will be sent automatically. We have an example here. We have created a webhook, set up some application, and we want to forward this data to a Google Excel sheet, for example. I can send here the report now for testing, send to June, and then we will see the data appearing here.
Oh,
and this
so
could
nice.
be any application I want, so you're free to do what you want with it.
That's a very cool thing. It's just, you can see within 1 second you have everything you need here, and you can do with a file whatever you want. Another feature, new feature of Loxone Exosphere is the granular assignment of rights at object level. What does that mean, Lucas?
Yeah, you may have created really nice looking dashboards like we have here, and you want to share them. So until now, only people with actual Exosphere accounts were able to access it, and they had to be part of your workspace. But now you can share this via a link. So I can click here on share and share it with anyone with the link. I could also share it with specific users or from specific domains. In this case, I want to share it with the link to everyone. And the nice thing I can do now, I could integrate it into my website, for example, like we have here. So you have this embedded into your website and can show off how much PV energy you produce actually during the day, and it's a very nice feature.
Oh, that's a very cool thing. If I'm just imagine, okay, maybe you have chains. You need to compare how much energy does, like we did before, and this were our Loxone headquarters all over the world. So you can now just forward it totally easily, maybe to a CEO or someone who is maybe not logged into Exosphere, even if he has an account or not. Then you can see it at a glance what is happening here. That's a very cool feature. It was often asked before, I know that. We are hoping that you're happy receiving that. So let's summarize everything. We have a little picture in here where you can see what is all new in the Loxone Config 16. We have the new interface, the new look and feel of the config itself. We have new functions like the getting started wizard, like the logger by email, the automatic loading of the mini server configuration. We have improved energy management with the spot price optimizer, the Fronius integration, improved integration of AC systems, and the 2 Exosphere features we have seen here now, and a lot of bug fixes as well. This was something we missed in the German one. So a lot of bug fixes. It's crazy for us employees working. That's just a side note at Loxone. We see a new config every day, and every day we see all the work you guys are doing on the software side, and that's so amazing to see how many bugs are fixed every day, how many new features we can expect, and at least 6 to 8 times a year, all these improvements will get out to our partners to be used in the final release version, alphas and betas not included in that case, and it's totally free, so you are not charged for that. It's something you can just download and start right now. So it's up on us to say thank you, Lucas, for your time, for your work, for all the passion you put in it, and having a good time trying out, download the new Loxone Config 16. This is just the beginning of a new era, so I'm very sure that we will see in that year a 16.1 config, as you can expect, just a few months away. But now have fun with checking out the latest version, Loxone Config 16, the begin of a whole new era of the Loxone config.